Good morning, everybody. And I mentioned Runcorn because Runcorn is that kind of constituency. It is Labour's 16th safest seat in the United Kingdom. Well, I'm going to be there again on Thursday of this week, and all I can tell you is we're giving them one hell of a run for their money. And it's going to be, you know, I get it. They've got 10 times the number of staff we've got. They've got a lot more money than we've got. They've got a much bigger machine than we've got, but it is going to be, I think, incredibly close in Runcorn. So in the Midlands, in the North, in Wales and in Scotland, Reform is now the opposition to the Labour Party, with the Conservatives trailing some way behind. And in these red wall areas, any thought that the Conservatives would start to win again seats that they surprised people with in 2019, some here indeed in County Durham, it's for the birds. The sheer level of betrayal of what people who voted for Boris Johnson in 2019 got. They didn't get the Brexit they voted for, and they got mass immigration on a scale never seen before in the history of these islands. Those people are not ever going to trust the Conservative Party up here again, and frankly, nor should they. That Reform are parking their tanks on the lawns of the red wall. Today's the first day I've said that, but I absolutely mean it, and we're here to stay. And the evidence is that people who are switching to us, this is not a short-term protest. They actually believe in us, which is why the Labour lie machine is in full groove. We see it in the House of Commons every week. We're certainly seeing it in the by-election in Runcorn, and we'll see it, I'm sure, here in County Durham and elsewhere. They're digging up the old Russia conspiracy theory, which somehow people seem to be so fond of. The fact that I said once 12 years ago that I respected Putin as a leader but didn't like him, wouldn't want to live in the country, and have condemned him for the attack, the vicious attack on Ukraine. But somehow, the line that Starmer keeps coming out with is that we fawn over Putin. Outright lies. On the NHS, they're putting out literature saying, vote Reform, and they'll charge you 15 grand for a hip replacement. We've never, ever, ever suggested anything other than the NHS should be free. What worries us is all the tax money that goes in, how badly it gets spent and allocated. Of course, one of the problems is that 7.2 million foreign-born people have signed up with GPs in the last 10 years alone. Can you believe that? 7.2 million people extra. So don't be surprised if there's a big queue to get, you know, an appointment with your local GP. Reform will re-industrialise Britain, and we'll have a proper, sound industrial policy, but it only works if we start producing enough of our own gas and oil and coal and all of those things. And we really, really believe in that. But we're also on the side of those on low pay. And I think our biggest policy at the general election that we launched and will keep fighting for is, rather than the level at which we start paying tax being frozen, the way it is year after year after year, we believe the most dramatic tax change that is needed is to lift the level at which people start paying tax to £20,000 a year. That will mean people on low pay genuinely will be a bit better off. But equally important, it will incentivise those on benefits who know that if they work for more than 16 hours a week, all their benefits will be taken away. It will incentivise them to get back to work. So I firmly believe that we are the party of working people. And there's anger out there on the streets in these red wall areas over two-tier care, two-tier policing, two-tier justice, and two-tier recruitment. What happened after Southport was the most appalling cover-up. If we'd known the identity and something about the murderer, I don't believe those riots would have happened on anything like the scale that they did.